Let us continue atomic structure, in which photoelectric effect we will see. In the photoelectric effect, now we will see number of photoelectrons ejected, that we will see. Number of photoelectrons ejected we will see. Now we will consider metal lattice. Metal lattice we will consider. This metal lattice consists of metal atoms. This metal lattice consists of metal atoms. So here one metal atom, free electron. Here one metal atom, free electron. The metal atoms present like this and free electrons present like this. Okay. Now it is exposed to radiation. The metal lattice is exposed to radiation. So radiation comes. Now, if this radiation, if the quantum is falling on this electron, then this electron comes out from the metal atom. If the quantum is falling over this electron, then this electron absorbing that quantum and it comes out. If the quantum is falling over here, and if the quantum is falling over here, then it will come out. So now you say number of photoelectrons emitted, number of photoelectrons emitted, number of photoelectrons emitted per unit time, number of photoelectrons emitted per unit time, and number of quanta fell to over metal lattice. What is the relation? Number of quanta fell to over metal lattice and number of photoelectrons emitted per unit time. What is the relation? Number of photoelectrons emitted and the number of quanta fell to over metal lattice. If quantum is striking the photoelectron, if the quantum is striking the free electron, then free electron absorbs that quantum and comes out, isn't it? The coming out electron is called a photoelectron. Now, if quantum is striking this electron, then this electron will absorb this quantum and it will come out, isn't it? So, number of quanta falling over the metal lattice and number of photoelectrons emitted. What is the relation? Number of quanta falling over the metal lattice and number of photoelectrons emitted. Are they having any relation? If they are having any relation, shall we say directly proportional or inversely proportional? What shall we say? Okay. See, if from the radiation falling over the metal lattice, radiation falling over the photocathode, falling over the metal lattice. In the radiation, many energy particles are there. Energy particles are called quanta. So quantum is falling on the metal atom. Quantum is falling on the electron, free electron. Then this free electron is absorbing this quantum. This free electron is absorbing this quantum. After absorbing, it is coming out from the metal atom. This free electron absorbs the quantum, then it is coming out. If quantum is not falling on the free electron, then it will not come out, isn't it? If quantum is falling over the free electron, then only this free electron comes out. Correct? So, number of photoelectrons emitted, number of photoelectrons ejected, and the number of quanta falling over the metal lattice. Number of photoelectrons ejected, okay, number of photoelectrons ejected and number of quanta falling over metal lattice. How it will be there? Number of quanta, number of photoelectrons emitted and number of quanta falling over metal lattice. Will there be any relation? Shall we say they are directly proportional, shall we say, or no relation, or inversely proportional? What shall we say? What do you think? Now, you see that and you consider that each metal atom absorbing one quantum, like this you consider, and the frequency of radiation is greater than frequency of radiation is equal to or greater than threshold frequency, like this we can take. Frequency of radiation is equal to or greater than threshold frequency, like this we can consider it. Okay, now what shall we say? What shall we say? Number of photoelectrons emitted and number of quanta falling over metal lattice, are they having any relation? And you also think in this way, if quantum if quantum or photoelectron is falling over this electron, if quantum or photoelectron is falling over this electron, then only this electron is absorbing this quantum and ejecting out from the metal atom, isn't it? If quantum is not falling, then will it come out? Will it come out? You think it? So if quantum is falling over this electron, then only it is coming out. Therefore, what is the relation between this number of quanta falling over metal lattice and number of photoelectrons ejected? Are they directly proportional or inversely proportional? Directly proportional or inversely proportional, or no relation? What do you say? What do you say regarding this? Number of photoelectrons ejected and number of quanta falling over metal lattice. Okay, you are saying that they are directly proportional. They are directly proportional. That means, so since you are saying that they are directly proportional, okay, you are saying that they are directly proportional. So number of quanta falling over metal lattice, if it increases, then number of photoelectrons ejected increases. Number of quanta falling over metal lattice increases means number of photoelectrons ejected also increases. That's what we can say. So now we will see frequency of radiation and number of photoelectrons ejected. Is there any relation? That we have to see. Then we have to see intensity of radiation and number of photoelectrons ejected. Is there any relation? That's what we have to see. Okay. For which we will consider a perfect monochromatic light. We will consider. We are considering perfect monochromatic light. We will consider. Perfect monochromatic light we will consider. Perfect monochromatic light. What does it mean? It has only one wavelength. Monochromatic light means that has only one wavelength. If it is perfect, then sensitivity will be more, and it will have exactly one wavelength. Like this will be there. Suppose the wavelength is this much. Will take. Okay. Perfect monochromatic light we have taken, that is having wavelength 5890 angstrom. Sorry. Now we know that frequency is inversely proportional to wavelength. So this light is having one wavelength means it will have one frequency. If this light is having one wavelength means it will have one frequency. That's all. It will not have a more than one frequency. It will have one frequency. Sorry. Now we will take this monochromatic light, this bulb is this much. It is a bulb. This monochromatic light bulb we have taken like this. It is emitting a radiation. This bulb is glowing. This bulb is glowing in the sense it is emitting radiation. The radiation is having wavelength. Wavelength is how much means 5890 angstrom. This wavelength, let us substitute here. We will get frequency. So it is having one frequency. Consider this frequency is greater than threshold frequency. Now this radiation is exposed to our metal lattice. This radiation is exposed to our metal lattice. So from the metal lattice, photoelectrons are ejected. Photoelectrons are ejected. Photoelectrons are ejected, we can say. So number of photoelectrons ejected will have some value. Number of photoelectrons ejected will have some value. Okay. We will consider time is per unit time. Per unit time. That means expose this metal lattice for this radiation for unit time. and the number of photoelectrons ejected, we will calculate it. In the next case, we'll take this monochromatic light bulb. Bulb we will take a bigger one. We will take bulb. We have taken a bigger one. We have taken. Now this bulb is emitting. This is also monochromatic light. Same monochromatic light. Only difference is this bulb size is high. This bulb size is low. That is only difference. So it is also perfect monochromatic light. So it is emitting wavelength 5890 angstrom. So substitute this wavelength here, you will get frequency. So we got frequency. This radiation is exposed to our metal lattice. Okay. So what happens means from the metal lattice, photoelectrons are ejected. Number of photoelectrons ejected per unit time, we have to calculate it. Number of photoelectrons ejected per unit time, we have to find it. Okay. Then, so we are calculating all the things. Now we can say number of photoelectrons ejected in each case. That also we have to see in both cases. So next we will see that here this bulb is glowing. So how the brightness will be there? And this bulb is glowing here. How the brightness will be there? Okay, that we have to see. Now it is a small bulb. It is glowing. So we are getting brightness. It is a big bulb. Bulb size is high. It is glowing. So we are getting brightness. You know that how the brightness will be there, that you know. That this brightness is nothing but intensity. Of radiation. So in both places, intensity of radiation will have some value. So this bulb is emitting radiation. So that radiation contains quanta. Many quanta are there. Quanta means what? Energy particles. Quantum means energy particle. Quanta means plural. We can say even photons also we can say. This radiation also having quanta. Sir, okay. So both radiation is having quanta. This quanta is falling over the metal lattice. Each metal atom is absorbing one quantum, and from that photoelectron is ejecting out. Okay. In the same way, here also happening. In this place also happening in the same way. Sir, now we will compare both cases. It is this will take bulb 1, this will take bulb 2. First, we will compare in 1 and 2. The wavelength we will compare it. The wavelength of both bulbs will compare it. First. Sir, first how the wavelength will be there, that we will see. Sir, now first bulb and second bulb. First we will see the wavelength. What do you say about wavelength in both cases? Do you say wavelength in both cases are equal? Wavelength in first bulb, the light bulb, first bulb is emitting light, that is having wavelength. Second bulb is emitting light, that is having wavelength. Shall we say wavelength of light emitted by first bulb and second bulb are equal? Sir, then we will see frequency of radiation. This wavelength will substitute in this formula, we will get frequency. So frequency of radiation emitted by this first bulb, frequency of radiation emitted by second bulb, shall we say same? Sir, so frequency of radiation we said. Next, this bulb is glowing, so we are getting brightness. This second bulb is glowing, so we are getting brightness. Okay, how the brightness is there, you know that. If the bulb size is small, how the brightness will be there. If bulb size is high, how the brightness will be there, that you have seen practically. So from that we can say intensity. So intensity of radiation in the first bulb and the intensity of radiation in the second bulb. You are saying that the intensity of radiation in the first bulb is low. Intensity of radiation in the first bulb is low. Intensity of radiation in the second bulb is high. You are saying, sir. Intensity is nothing but a number of particles, number of quanta. So, number of quanta ejected in the first bulb and the number of quanta ejected in the second bulb. How it will be there? Number of quanta ejected in the first bulb, number of quanta emitted in the second bulb. How it will be there, you say. Okay. This first bulb, this is a small bulb. This is emitting a radiation. It is emitting a quanta. It is emitting photons. Correct? Each photon is called energy particle. So it is emitting how many photons per unit time? It is emitting how many photons per unit time? You compare it. Such that here we are saying brightness is low, here we are saying brightness is high. Isn't it? That's what we have seen practically. The small bulb means brightness will be low, bulb size is high means brightness will be high. That's what we know. So number of photons emitted out from this bulb, number of photons emitted out from this bulb, you compare it. Where it will be less, that also you compare. So you know that number of quanta emitted in first bulb, what do you say? Do you say low or high? Number of quanta emitted by first bulb, number of quanta emitted by first bulb will be low, do you say, or will be high, do you say, sir? So you are saying that number of quanta emitted by first bulb is low, you are saying. Number of quanta emitted by second bulb is high, you are saying, sir. Number of quanta you said. This quanta means plural. This is nothing but energy particles coming out from the bulb. Now let us expose this quanta to the metal lattice for photoelectric effect. This quanta is falling over the metal lattice. So what happened means in this metal atom, the metal atom is absorbing this quantum, and the free electron in the metal atom is coming out as a photoelectron. So now you say that number of photoelectrons emitted out from this metal lattice on exposing to second bulb. Number of photoelectrons emitted in the first bulb, emitted from the metal lattice due to first bulb. How it will be there, do you say? Number of photoelectrons ejected. Number of photoelectrons ejected, how it will be there? Number of photoelectrons ejected in the first case, number of photoelectrons ejected in the second case. That means from this bulb radiation comes. This radiation is exposed to this metal lattice. In the metal lattice, metal atoms present. Metal atoms absorbing the quanta. Assume that, go for the assumption, each metal atom absorbing one quantum. Okay, like this assumption, take it. So the metal atom which absorbs quantum, that from that free electron comes out as photoelectron. In the same way, from this bulb radiation comes. That radiation is exposed to metal lattice. This metal in the metal lattice, metal atoms absorbing the quanta, each metal atom absorbing one quantum. So the electron, the free electron which absorbed quantum is coming out as photoelectron. So here photoelectrons are ejected, here also photoelectrons are ejected. Number of photoelectrons ejected in this place in the left side, number of photoelectrons ejected in the right side. Okay, both you consider unit time. That means this metal lattice is exposed to this radiation for unit time. This metal lattice is exposed to this radiation per unit time. Now what do you say? Number of photoelectrons ejected in this left side, number of photoelectrons ejected in the right side. Compare it. Number of photoelectrons ejected in the left side and number of photoelectrons ejected in the right side. Compare it. For that you consider that here size of metal lattice, here size of metal lattice same. That also you take. Okay. So size of metal lattice here, size of metal lattice here equal. Like this you take it. So now you say number of photoelectrons ejected per unit time here, left side, number of photoelectrons ejected per unit time in right side. What do you say? Are they equal, do you say? Or Are they equal? Do you say are they equal? Otherwise, do you say left side is high or right side is high? What do you say? In which case, number of photoelectrons ejected will be what? How it will be there? Number of photoelectrons ejected. You are saying that number of photoelectrons ejected in the left side is low, in the right side is high, you are saying. So number of photoelectrons ejected is low here, number of photoelectrons ejected is high here, you are saying. Sir, you are saying number of photoelectrons ejected will be like this. Sir, okay. Now we will compare number of photoelectrons ejected with the frequency, we will compare with the wavelength, we will compare, and we will compare with the intensity of radiation. Okay. So now we will see. First, wavelength left side, wavelength right side equal. Frequency left side, frequency right side equal. Intensity left side low, intensity right side high. Number of photoelectrons ejected left side low, number of photoelectrons ejected right side high. Now you say number of photoelectrons ejected depends on frequency of radiation or depends on intensity of radiation. What do you say? So number of photoelectrons ejected depending on frequency or intensity. Okay, that question, that answer say. So number of photoelectrons ejected depends on frequency of radiation or intensity. Okay, you are saying that number of photoelectrons ejected depends on intensity of radiation but not frequency. Sir, so you came to the idea that number of photoelectrons ejected depends on intensity of radiation but not frequency of radiation. Sorry, okay. Next point is number of photoelectrons ejected and intensity of radiation. In what way they are depending? Here, left side intensity low, right side intensity high. Left side number of photoelectrons ejected low, right side number of photoelectrons ejected high. Therefore, number of photoelectrons ejected and intensity of radiation, are they directly proportional or inversely proportional? How the dependence is there? Here low intensity, lesser number of photoelectrons ejected. Here high intensity, higher number of photoelectrons ejected. So number of photoelectrons ejected is directly proportional to intensity of radiation, shall we say, or inversely proportional to intensity of radiation, shall we say? What do you say? Number of photoelectrons ejected? Sir, you are saying that number of photoelectrons ejected is directly proportional to intensity of radiation. Sir, okay. So you said number of photoelectrons ejected is directly proportional to intensity of radiation, you said. Okay. Next one is how to stop photoelectric effect. How to stop photoelectric effect? That means how to stop photoelectric effect, for which what is the voltage required? Now we are going for the point. What is the voltage required to stop photoelectric effect? We are going to this point. What is the voltage required to stop photoelectric effect? Okay. So now we are going for the relation between the voltage required and stopping the photoelectric effect. That relation we will see. So we are going to the relation. What is the voltage required to stop photoelectric effect? What is the voltage required to stop photoelectric effect? That relation we'll see. Okay. So voltage required to stop photoelectric effect. That point we'll see. Now we will consider the photovoltaic cell. We will consider in the photovoltaic cell. For photovoltaic cell, we are considering the quartz tube. It is this quartz tube is a vacuum. This quartz tube is vacuum. This quartz tube we consider. In the quartz tube, we will take one is photocathode, one is anode. We will take one is cathode, another one is anode. Okay, this is photocathode. It is photocathode means over which if you expose radiation, what will happen means electrons will be ejected out from this. Photoelectrons coming out from this. Okay, this we will consider as anode. This we will consider as anode. Sir, so which is photocathode, which is anode? We got idea. So now for photoelectric effect, in order to take place photoelectric effect, we have to expose this to radiation. Sorry, okay. Now we will take radiation. This radiation we have to expose over photocathode or anode. Okay, photocathode. So radiation is exposed over photocathode. Sorry, okay. So radiation is exposed to over photocathode means from the photocathode, photoelectrons will be ejected out. That ejected photoelectrons moving towards anode. This effect is called a photoelectric effect. We know that. Sir. Now, what is the question? What is the voltage required to stop photoelectric effect? Okay, sir. That is the question. So now we will connect the photocathode. We will connect the photocathode and the photocathode and anode to the respective battery. We will connect this to battery. Here we will have battery here. Sir, both we will connect to battery. Sir, now we have to connect. We have to keep battery here. Battery here we have to keep. Sir, now you say at this place, battery negative charge we have to connect here, or positive charge we have to connect. In general, it is a photovoltaic cell. Okay, you are saying that battery negative charge we have to keep here. Sir, as per your point of view, we will connect negative charge, we will connect. Sir, so you are saying that battery negative charge we have to keep at this place. Okay, battery negative charge we will place here, battery positive charge we will place here. Okay, battery negative charge, battery positive charge. In this way only photovoltaic cell will be there. Sir, so battery negative charge we are connecting to photocathode. Therefore, this photocathode will have a negative charge. Battery positive charge is connected to anode, therefore it will have positive charge. In this way, photovoltaic cell will be there. Sir, here this photocathode is exposed to sunlight radiation. From this photocathode, electrons will be ejected. The ejected electron move towards anode, and so on so takes place. Whether bulb is glowing, otherwise battery is charging, anyone takes place. Sir, okay. Now what question we are considering? What is the voltage required to stop photoelectric effect? That is the question. Sir, for which we will consider this radiation is having quantum. That quantum is having energy. Suppose 5 joule. And for this photocathode, work function will be there. Work function means what is the work function means? The minimum energy required to eject the photoelectron. Okay, so work function energy is equal to, suppose 3 joule we will take. Work function energy, suppose 3 joule. What is the meaning of this one? Means between, in the metal atom, nucleus will be there and a free electron will be there. Between them attraction is possible. This attraction, due to this attraction, this electron is bounded in the metal atom. That bounding energy is this much. Sir, now we are taking this radiation. This radiation is having quantum energy is this much. This quantum is falling on this in this metal atom. This electron is absorbing this quantum. In this quantum, this electron is utilizing this much energy to break this attraction. To break this attraction, 3 joule is utilized. Okay, so remaining how much means 2 joule. The 2 joule, the ejected electron will have that 2 joule as kinetic energy. So ejected electron is having kinetic energy this much. Okay, so you are taking quantum 5 joule. That quantum is falling on this photocathode. That means metal atom. That means this free electron. So this free electron is absorbing this quantum 5 joule. In that 5 joule, this free electron utilizes this 3 joule for breaking this attractive force. After breaking, this electron is ejecting out from the metal atom, ejected out, The ejected out electron is having kinetic energy. How much means 2 joule? It is the maximum kinetic energy. It is the maximum kinetic energy of ejected electron. Sir, ejected electron is having maximum kinetic energy this much. That electron is having ejected out electron. Ejected out electron is having negative charge. This anode is attracting this negative charge, therefore it is moving towards like this, okay. This so and so is happening in the photovoltaic cell. Now what we want means we want to stop photoelectric effect, for which what voltage we have to apply. So now we want to stop the photoelectric effect. To stop the photoelectric effect, what we have to do means we have to change the poles of the battery. We have to change the poles of the battery. Okay. So let us change the poles of the battery. Why? Because we want to know what voltage required to stop photoelectric effect. What voltage required to stop photoelectric effect we want. Therefore, we are changing the poles of the battery. Sir, here we are keeping positive plate, we will keep, and we will keep negative plate. So we have changed the poles of the battery. So what had happened? Due to that, what had happened? That we'll see. Now, due to this, what is happening means this place becoming negative charge. This plate becomes a negative charge, and due to this battery, because of we wantedly connecting the battery like this, we wantedly connecting the battery like this, okay, and we are doing we are making this photocathode as positive charge. We are making wantedly we are making this photocathode to have positive charge. Sir, now regarding this radiation, we are not changing. Sun radiation is falling. Sun radiation is having quantum 5 joule. In that 5 joule, this electron is absorbing that 5 joule, and 3 joule it utilizes for breaking this attraction and ejecting out. Then the kinetic energy of ejected electron is having 2 joule. In this, no change. Now this battery is having some voltage. This battery is having some voltage. Suppose V1. So this battery is having voltage. That voltage we will take. Then we will multiply this voltage with the charge of electron, charge of electron. Charge of electron is coulomb. Charge of electron is coulomb. Okay, SI unit. SI unit of charge is coulomb. Coulomb into volt. Voltage unit is volt. Voltage unit is volt. Coulomb into volt is called joule. Coulomb into volt is called joule. Joule is called a unit of work. Unit of work. Okay, joule is the unit of work or unit of energy. So now we are taking the battery. That battery is having voltage V1. That voltage we will supply here, and electron charge. Electron is having charge. That charge we will take. That unit is coulomb. That this volt into coulomb is called joule. Joule is the unit of energy. Joule is the unit of energy. Okay. This is suppose how much means 0.5 joule. We are getting this much, suppose. Now you see, this is, we made this plate as a negative charge. We made this plate as a negative charge. So this negative plate is repelling this ejected electron. This negative plate is repelling this photoelectron, and we made this plate as a positive plate. We made the photocathode as positive charge. This photocathode is attracting this electron. Okay, this photocathode is attracting this electron. Therefore, this photocathode is pulling this electron back. This anode we made as negative charge. Actually it is anode, but we made as negative charge. This negative charge is repelling this electron. So external force what is given? 0.5 joule. Now you say the ejected out electron actual kinetic energy. What is the ejected out electron kinetic energy? Will it be 2 joule or will it be less? If it is less, how much? Or if it is high, how much? Okay, you are using the battery. Battery is having some voltage. That voltage you are supplying. That voltage you are multiplying with the charge of electron. Electron is having charge. Okay, charge of electron you are multiplying. That SI unit is coulomb. And multiplying these two, volt into coulomb is called joule. Okay, volt into coulomb is called joule. So substitute this voltage, substitute charge of electron. We know this from, we can take from this value table. We will get joule. Suppose joule is this much. Okay. Now we changed the poles of the battery wantedly. We made this anode to have negative charge. We made this photocathode to have positive charge. Okay. Wantedly we are doing. We are due to that this negative plate, this negative charge of this plate is repelling this electron, so that this electron going towards anode tendency decreases. We made this photocathode to have positive charge, so this positive charge is pulling back this electron, this negative plate, this negative charge is repelling this electron, this positive charge is attracting this electron. So what is the kinetic energy of this electron moving like this? What is the kinetic energy of this photoelectron moving like this? Moving from photocathode to anode. Now what is the kinetic energy, do you say? This due to this battery, opposing force given, opposing energy is 0.5 joule. Now what is the kinetic energy of with what kinetic energy the photoelectron move from this cathode to anode? You are saying this kinetic energy becomes 1.5 joule. Okay, sir. Now we will change the battery voltage. Now we will take the voltage of the battery is equal to how much, means such that this voltage into charge of electron is how much, means 2 joule. Okay. Now we will change the voltage of this battery. The battery voltage is V2. This voltage we will substitute here and multiply with the charge of electron, and we are getting joule. Suppose joule is 2 joule. Okay. Suppose due to this battery external energy is 2 joule. Sir, now because of this battery we made this plate as a negative charge. This negative charge is opposing this electron, this positive plate, we made this plate as positive charge. This positive charge is pulling back this electron. Now due to this battery external opposing energy is 2 joule. Now you say this photoelectron is moving with what kinetic energy from photocathode to anode? That you say. This photoelectron is moving with what kinetic energy from photocathode to anode? What is the kinetic energy? You are saying that kinetic energy of photoelectron is 0. Kinetic energy is 0 means can it move from photocathode to anode? You are saying kinetic energy of photoelectron is 0. Kinetic energy is 0 means can it move from photocathode to anode? What do you say?